I made a generator with just copper wires and 8 magnets, and it gave me up to 13 volts, which is quite impressive for something this small. But I got ahead of myself and this happened. So stick around to see what really happened. I have to make a magnetic rotor, so to do that, I got this plastic bottle and twisted off the cap to use as the rotor. I then got a pair of scissors and started to make holes around the bottle cap. I made 4 holes in total. I used the scissors to make holes where I'm going to mount the magnet. You can just glue the magnet around the cap. You will see in a bit why I made these holes. This is a 15 by 5 by 5 millimeter magnet, which means it is 15 millimeter across with a 5 millimeter height and a 5 millimeter hole. With these holes on the magnet, I passed a screw through 2 magnets and tightened the screw into the holes that I made. While screwing in the last pair of magnets, I felt a repulsion from those magnets, and it turned out that I put the other magnet around the cap, having the same side facing outwards, which means I put either the north or the south pole outward on all 4 magnets. So I changed 2 magnets that are opposite each other, making them to go in the north-south orientation that they are originally supposed to be in. This is it all done. I took a pair of scissors and made a hole through the center of the bottle cap by applying minimal pressure with the scissors and then twisting the cap. After that, I passed the motor through the hole to make sure that it fits, but I felt that the magnets might fly off during rotation, so I applied super glue on the inner ends of the screw and on the sides of the magnets that touches the bottle cap, and I also put glue into the center hole and pressed the shaft of the motor through it. As always, I got a wood for the base, but placing the motor on it, we can see that the magnet touches the base while the motor doesn't. So I got these bottle caps to solve that. I glued them both to the board towards the edge of the board and then placed the motor on it to sit on the super glue that I applied on the bottle caps. But we all know how powerful these drill motors are, so I added sand onto the super glue that I applied around the motor to make it stronger on the bottle cap. So to be sure that it doesn't break off, I connected a battery to the terminals of the motor to let the motor spin, and judging by the sound, we can tell that it doesn't vibrate as much. This is a stator consisting of a number of turns of copper wires that I made in a previous video. This is the video on screen. Check the links in the description to check it out. So I will place the wire as close as possible beside the magnetic rotor, but the wire is not the same height as the rotor. So to solve that, I got these PVC pieces and used super glue to stack them up on each other till I got to the height where the stator is on the same level with the rotor. Now that I've gotten it right, I placed the rotor on the elevated PVC pieces to keep the stator on the base close to the rotor. There is minimal gap between the rotor and the stator for better performance. Before connecting any other thing, I stripped off the coating on the wires and then got clippers and clipped them onto the terminals of the motor, got a battery and completed the circuit. Now the generator is ready for testing, or should I say testing. I gave it a leak test, as in the old days when there wasn't any multimeter to give you the actual voltage that you have in your generator, and it gave me the shock of my life. So I connected a multimeter to the stator and a battery to the motor, and impressively the generator, made from just wires and magnets, produced absolutely nothing. Confused as to why it didn't give anything when it shook the life out of me, I then realized that I had the multimeter set to DC voltage instead of AC. So, flipping the dial, I got an impressive 13 volts out of this small generator. With that excitement, I got LED light. I forgot that LED lights work with DC, not AC voltage. So I connected an LED light to the stator, and it gave me a very faint glow. That was when I realized my mistake again. So I removed the lights and thought of how much more voltage I could get when I used 2 batteries instead of 1 to power the motor. So curiosity got the better of me, and I got another battery and connected it in series with the first one. I started with just giving them light taps on each other because I still don't know how the rotor would handle the speed of the motor, but it didn't take long to find that out because I kept the batteries a bit too long together, and the whole thing came apart with one of the magnet pairs flying off from the rotor. I still want to see this generator reach at least 25 volts or more. I will definitely make some adjustments in the future. Maybe use a PVC with bolts and nuts instead of a bottle cap with screws. But that is it for today. Make sure to like and subscribe. Turn on notifications to know when the next one drops. Until then, don't just build, bend the rules while doing so. Make some noise, make some mess before you make some sense, just like me. I'm Emmanuel, and this is Nexel Labs.
Falling in